Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Security IQ. Say hi, Min.
Hi, folks. Min here.
And Elisa. Today I have my personal assistant, so you may hear some dinosaur noises in the background, just a heads up. Today we have on Lee, Tim, and wish me luck in saying this, Kehkashan.
Yay!
All right.
Mess up like you, Tim. I'm gonna call you out.
Done it better than me. I'm the worst.
Always good to call them out.
So we're going to let each of them talk a little bit about their backgrounds, and we're going to start off with just how they're all involved with GSD. And Lee, why don't we start off with you?
The man with the mouth. Thank you very much.
You're gonna have to explain what the mouth means also later.
I just made that up right now. So.
Damn it, I was gonna call him out too.
I'm freestyling. That's what it's all about.
Good.
Well, I am actually known as the man with the red vest, but I haven't got my red vest on today.
That's even more interesting.
Yeah, why red? Is it just a platinum, like a color that you always wore?
Well, I'll go and fetch it in a minute if you want, and I can put the red vest on, so then you can see it. Then you will know what the red vest is. But basically, I wear well, in the UK we call them like body warmers, but in the US you would call them vests. So my claim to fame, or how the red vest came around, was in Vegas when I challenged everybody at the International Protective Security Board when I was on a panel, and I just challenged them to all be bigger and better. So I got known as the man in the red vest ever since then, because I was wearing a red vest. I think I had white pumps on too, and everybody else, yeah. Well,
wait, pumps?
Sneakers, or whatever you guys call
it. Okay, all right.
We gotta get used to.
You gotta translate English to American, because
he's
are something
Australian,
different
so-
in American.
I'm ready to get my white pumps. I'm like, it's the left heel.
I was thinking about 4-inch high heels.
I do that though.
Listen,
I think
not that you couldn't rock them, Lee, because I am fully confident that you would just.
I would definitely rock stilettos. In fact, maybe that's my next challenge. I'm gonna go white stilettos.
Oh, love it.
I love it.
I'll make sure I shave my legs though. Anyway, I've digressed a little bit, ladies and gents. So, I think we should really talk about, my fellow colleagues on here from Getting Security Done, the GSD crew. That's who we are. So I'm Lee Oughton. I am part of the GSD crew. I'm also co-founder of the Kindness Games, co-presenter of GSD Fails, which is one of my favorite. That is such a roller coaster ride of emotions and rawness and vulnerability. So that's a little bit about me. I am going to, I'll hand it back to you ladies, so then you can, say who you want next. But usually I would say, hey, ladies first, but you said me first. So.
All right. So since you said ladies first, you're right. Kehkashan, you're up.
Hey everyone, I'm Kehkashan, co-founder of the Real Kindness Games and the newest member of GSD. I have been just so excited to be a part of GSD. Tim called me one day, he goes, hey, so we have unanimously voted, we're gonna let you into GSD. I was like, yay, that's so exciting, because GSD does such amazing work. I've always been about kind of, talking about conventional wisdom and why we still follow it, and why it's so important to kind of take that step further and go beyond. And so I'm just excited to be part of GSD to continue conversations that, that address different biases that we have as human beings, and just, spread kindness in not just the security industry, but our world. So that's a bit about me. I'm just, here trying to spread kindness as much as I can.
Well said.
Back to you guys.
Well said. All right. So Tim, we definitely want to hear from you, but why don't you give the audience, for anyone who doesn't know GSD or hasn't heard of it yet, why don't you also give them just a little bit of background, how that came to be, how you sucked Lee in and Kehkashan in, and how it all sort of came to the point where we are now.
Yeah, well, just to be clear, Lee didn't go through my vote. He probably wouldn't be here had it been my vote. But he is
So
here. We're making
dirty.
the best of it.
Well, you
Dirty.
have to introduce yourself too. You're not out of that little hole there, okay?
Super interesting. So last year I met Brittany Golly for the first time at Accelerize 2019. Accelerize is a YP conference that SIA puts on, probably the best conference out there for the relevance and immediate action of the content and the excitement of the attendees. It's crazy. I love going to it more than I like the rest of the conferences. And I'm not even young, I'm old. But anyways, I met her there and she said, hey, are you going to GSX in 2019? I said, yes. And she said, I'm going to invite you to a breakfast and we're just going to meet with some people and have a conversation. It'll be good networking. And so she sent out an invitation for breakfast at Brittany's, which I thought was kind of awesome. Little play on, movies. And, about 10 of us, maybe a few more got together and had coffee. And some of us knew each other. Most of us didn't know each other. And she said, hey, what would you wish would be different in the security industry? Like, what problems are you facing? Like, what things are just behind and not changing fast enough? Like, let's talk about it. I just want to know what everybody's thinking. And so it really turned into this interesting conversation of everybody just dropped their security burdens on the table. But then we started talking about, but it would be better if they would be allowed to do these things, right? And we started throwing out possible solutions. And then we finished our coffee. It was almost time to go to GSX. and Brittany says, okay, so you guys talked about it. I mean, we complained, we feel better. Does anybody want to do anything about it? And since September of 2019, we have had weekly calls, video conferences, where we've discussed who should we partner with, how should we get our vision for accelerating the advancement of the security industry out there. And we were mainly going to do it by, we're all on the speaker track with the different industry conferences and shows. So we were going to start identifying ourselves less by the companies that we work for. And we would either in place of that or attached to, we would say we're GSD Crew. And people would start seeing GSD Crew. And then we would only speak on topics that we could take into an interesting direction, a direction that really is a more relevant thought process that people in the industry aren't talking about, that would make people wonder, like, I wonder if that's feasible. I wonder if that would actually work out and kind of help people come into the conversation. And then COVID happened and everything got canceled. And so we met a guy named Leo Des, and he was like, you guys seem cool. I'll produce some videos. And we thought about, the Chucks came out with CoronaCon. And we were like, that's cool. Maybe we should put on like a 2-day conference. But nobody knows who we are, like en masse. We're not the Chucks. So we couldn't do that. And we settled on like, hey, why don't we release like an every 2 weeks podcast or vlog or whatever the kids are calling it these days. GSD Talks was born, followed shortly after by GSD Fails, because we realized GSD Talks was trying to present a better conversation in the industry, a different conversation, bring some business acumen into security. But GSD Fails, we realized that the corona fatigue was setting in and people needed to hear real stories, not people from TV, but people that are knowable, who have faced dire circumstances, have overcome and been resilient in the face of adversity. And most importantly, that understand they are now a better person than they could have been without the fail, which has been a really interesting thread. So far, we've done a few Medal of Honor stories, people that mental health issues were almost committing suicide, and now they run a nonprofit
Wow.
to combat that. We talked to one of my friends who escaped a domestic violence relationship and overcame that. We're about to do a series with Lee, John, and I on how to on professional fails. So not epic fails, but professional fails, things that we've dealt with in our career journey, how it impacted us and how we overcame.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's kind of GSD in a nutshell.
I love that. I mean, it sounds like it's such a grassroots story, but it's something that's been needed in the industry for quite some time. No matter who you talk to, I think everyone kind of agrees. Every show starts to blend after a while. A lot of the content, same people over and over at every conference. So to really, flip the script, so to speak, and start talking about the fails or bringing people in not for, as you said, the company they work at now, but just their overall experience, their expertise, the knowledge, and also to allow people to sort of, you know, not ride the coattails, but sort of just learn. You know, if I don't have an experience in executive protection, but, you know, somebody who's speaking, maybe they might want to mentor, share, partner, whatever it is, that sort of opens the door for whether it's a young professional, older professional, anyone who's looking to get more knowledge in that area, just opens that door. That's what it sounds like.
And we all go to the conferences and we see like the highlight people, the people that everybody in the industry knows, whether you actually know them or not. And we look up to them and we say like, I wonder how they got there. You know what? We're not at that level yet, but we are rising, and we're going to tell the story of what we had to overcome to get there, the things, the challenges we had to deal with, and the lessons we learned so that we can accelerate the advancement of YP's careers. Why should they have to go through the same exact struggles that almost all of us went through and learn their lessons for the first time?
No, it's a good point.
Yep. And it's very, very vaguely familiar, I think, for all of us, you know, who have to overcome all those barriers and challenges.
So what do you think the next steps are for you guys? I mean, do you have individual goals set for GSD, or you have stuff in the works that maybe you're not able to release yet?
Well, actually, pretty soon, we're having our first ever GSD Summit. Some people will be in person and other people will be virtual. And we're actually going to plan 2021 since 2020 really wasn't planned. We had to adjust like everybody did. We pivoted and we started doing things. And some of those things have really caught on and they've really laid a good foundation and framework. So now we're going to decide like what comes next. Who do we partner with? How do we bring on more members in a way that keeps the hyper production? You guys are part of the Inside Crew with Lee.
Yes.
So you know that a lot of the podcasts or whatever we're calling them these days, they put out something, you know, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. We're putting 2 or 3 things a week out.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. So you guys are really like looking into like this whole professional video casting, podcasting shows.
Yeah, and we want to maintain that. And like sometime, like my job's going to get busy. Sometime Lee's job is going to get busy, and we want to have a bench of people that are ready to be able to step in and own it, rotate the cast of characters to keep it interesting and to keep better perspectives and challenge the perspectives that we're throwing out there, right? Because we're not looking for an echo chamber. We're looking to actually put out well-reasoned ideas that will probably work in most cases and help the industry maybe see a different direction.
That's an amazing thing for GSD. What about you, Kehkashan and Lee? What are your thoughts on old GSD? I mean, Kehkashan. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Kehkashan.
Kehkashan. Damn it, I screwed up. You were
No,
so
honestly,
they voted
it's
you
all
in.
right.
I don't like messing people's names up. But you
No.
were so excited when you said that Tim and Lee voted you in, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, why were you so happy to be joining part of the whole crowd?
Honestly, the group is just filled with some of the most accelerated professionals I have met. You know, everyone has this idea of not, you know, the industry is exactly that it needs to be right now, but they're really looking to innovate and like enhance the industry as a whole. Because coming into the security industry myself just a few years ago, it felt very stale to you know, and I would say I'm kind of in the middle of a young professional making my way to be someone who's a bit more seasoned, to where it felt like people who are coming into the industry who are more my age or even younger, it looks kind of not as exciting. It's like things are exactly the same, things aren't necessarily changing. So to be in a group with these people who have this idea of changing the industry for the better and really starting to have conversations where, you know, we're challenging the current ideal. We're challenging the way that you currently look at the industry and say, well, how can we make it better? And not just how we make it better for ourselves, but how do we make it better for the next generation that's inclusive of, you know, males and females, that's inclusive of like the rainbow of colors of different people who are coming in, because our industry no longer looks the way that it did 50 years ago, right? It's very different. So I'm just excited to be part of the journey where we get to actually change the industry for the better and bring it to the 21st century.
Love it. Love that. What about you, Lee? And are you in London right now, in the UK right now?
No, Mexico. Come on, listen to the accent. It's very obvious,
Okay,
really.
I'm thinking of Italian.
Lee
What do you want?
is our favorite Australian who lived in New Mexico.
Hey, stop it. You always abuse me. Always. It's embarrassing.
Well, if you like to abuse, I can help abuse you later on too. I'm good at that.
Please, let's all do it. Let's all gang up on me. Actually, I quite enjoy it. Well, what
Lee,
can I
Lee, you know I won't let them abuse you, right?
Yeah, exactly. See,
I got your back.
she's my
Me and
protector.
Lee are like this now. We're
tight.
buds.
We
At
are
least
tight.
I think Lee
Exactly.
enjoys the abuse. That really is what keeps him going. It's like his fuel.
Oh, just so you know, I'm good with my targets. Anyway, sorry about that.
So, I mean, what do I really add apart from? I mean, they both of them put it so beautifully, right? I think the key though for us is collaboration. And I know you said it like, hey, what about individually? I don't like to put myself as an individual with these guys, because for me, we're all a collective, and we work so hard for each other. It's just an amazing journey that we're all going on, and I am really thankful and humbled to be part of this group, because they're real trailblazers. Every single one of them's a maverick. And the thing is, like, we don't always agree, which is what I love too. And I think that that's something that I really want to point out, is that we're willing to call each other out as well, and that's the cool thing. And as you've seen, we like to abuse each other too. And it's always good to have some friendly, personal and professional banter. But
no, it's professional. It's not unprofessional. It's professional.
Yeah, really professional. Like, let's bold it, like bold, capitals underlined, like
underlined,
super professional.
Or an equal opportunity asshole, as I like to call me. Anyway.
Okay. Well, you just went there.
I always go there.
Hello.
I admit it.
Well, we got more bleeps on our show than probably all the other ones combined. So
yeah. Well, I'm not drinking, so actually that's a good thing, because if I was, it would probably be like a real train wreck, and it would be going out of control.
Well, Elisa, we need to do one then with him drinking. Just so.
You know what? For that show, I will drink. For that show, I will drink.
That sounds fantastic. But we're all on this massive journey together. We're on so many different platforms too. We're really trying to collaborate with everybody. Like you guys, Leo Des, the Chucks. We're doing some stuff with Felon from CTG Intelligence.
Innovation Nation.
Yeah, Innovation. Yeah, I mean, there's so many that and that's the thing, because at the beginning, I can share with you that we were looking only to choose one or two. Yet, as we've gone along the journey, a lot of people have said, "Hey, can we get in with this too?" So, like, for example, like Felon, me, Tim, and a few others, we did this really cool collaboration like last week. We're doing the human side of security. And I don't know if you've seen it as well. You may have caught me and Tim horrendously singing an American baseball song. I will say that I had the best voice, definitely. The others were horrendous. I mean, it was just terrible, like terrible. I mean, like I think Tim's wife was like, "Hey, dude,
let's just set the record straight." My wife tells me every day that people are not laughing with you when you do your kindness games. Overtime. They're laughing.
One of my favorites. What do you mean, Tim?
I know. So I started asking everybody I did a collaboration kindness with, like, hey, so like, do you love this, or is it ridiculous? Like, are you laughing at me? Everybody's like, I love it. So then I make my wife watch them. She's like, oh my gosh, like you shouldn't ask about these things. Like, you're making it more obvious. And I'm like, I've reached the point where I don't care really what people think of me. And actually the beauty of what Lee Fellum and I are doing with the human side of security is we are challenging the notion of what professionalism is in the security industry, because it is an outdated term that leads to toxic and aggressive environments. And nobody has fun, and nobody's putting out an outstanding product because everybody's freaking depressed to come to work and have to put on a mask of who they're not. And we're actually abusing each other in the
Well,
work
the
environment.
the better term is to stick up their ass. Oops, did I say that? Just say.
I love it.
I'll
I
pull
love
it out.
it.
I'm sorry.
Well, listen, it's a scientific fact that your brain works better, 31% better when you're actually in a good mood. So everyone seems to be having a good time. Everyone seems to enjoy working together, which means we're all better security professionals for it. So with that, we'll end this segment, but last words for anyone in the audience, if they're interested in getting connected with you guys or participating in CSD, what do you have for them?
We have both a LinkedIn group, which by default LinkedIn groups are closed, but if you ask to be a part of it, we let you in. And we have a LinkedIn page, which is where we can put out some of the talks and some of the information updates. You can follow that page. And then at the summit coming up, we're actually going to create an email address so you can contact us through the page and ask your questions, ask to join. And we're really defining, like, as this group grows, like, what does the different types of membership look like? Not to create an exclusive club, but really so that there's expectations of, if you join in this capacity, here's what we expect you to deliver or not. And really make it a free flowing thing that when, like, I have time and I can commit resources, then I'm all in. But then when work kicks up, I'm like, hey guys, I have to drop back over here, but I don't have to leave the group, right? Because I think too often people think, well, I'm either in the group or I'm out of the group. And if I can't commit, then I'm out of the group. Like, we want people to be part of the movement, whether or not you have a lot of time or not. And not everybody's into getting on camera or pushing out articles or surveys.
Right, right. Everyone has something to offer. It doesn't all have to be the same, right? All right. Well, thank you guys for explaining a little bit about getting security done. We will see you on the next segment. If anyone has questions for Lee, Tim, or Kehkashan, comment below. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Next.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All
Ciao
right.
for now.
Thanks.